Now, after you've got your story, you want to bring it to life, give it some soul and energy, and see what you're getting into. Now, that's where the storyboard artists come in. They are the middlemen between legend and execution.
My job here at Imagineering is a show designer, and what we do mostly are drawings, paintings, storyboards, models, whatever it takes to get the concept and communicate it across. The creative team in the beginning of Tower of Terror had dozens of brainstorming sessions. During those sessions, when we're talking and having discussions, I'm sitting with a sketch pad making roughies, trying to bounce these ideas back off visually to the people at the table and to put it in a form that is a shorthand, a visual shorthand that we can reference later. One of the guiding intentions behind the attraction was that we wanted to reflect the opulence of 1939 Hollywood, but show it in a state of neglect, show it in a state of disrepair. If you came into a once elegant room, you should now be able to smell the dust and mustiness of it. There should be signs of wear and tear, of patina that had grown with age on something that was once very, very shiny, very glorious. One of the most satisfying things for me as a designer on the project is to see it go from concept discussions to all kinds of sketches and paintings, to seeing it become a real environment that people can walk through, that you can see their expressions, enjoying and experiencing this story.
The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror isn't only Walt Disney World's newest and tallest landmark, it's an absolute work of art and the ultimate multimedia thrill attraction. It's almost 200 feet tall, and they used over 3 million pounds of steel, over 145,000 cubic feet of concrete, and 27,000 roof tiles to build it.
10, 9, start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines must go down. We have liftoff. 32 minutes, that's the hour.
The biggest challenge we had on this project was developing an attraction that was going to push the technological limits of what we know as the attraction business today.
One of the most interesting challenges of building an attraction for Disney is that we try so hard to make everything look like it's not. We build a brand new facility, and then we come in right behind it, and we try to make it look 65 years old.
The Disney prop department and set dressers made everything look just like it did the last night this hotel was open. There are real letters in the mailboxes. Did you know that in 1939 a stamp was only 2 cents? Hey, it really rings.
You rang, sir.
I was just playing with the bell. Sorry. That couldn't be the same bellman that... No. Well, hey, look at this. This is the same pen the guests use to sign in. Wonder what's in here. This place is really starting to spook me.
Part of the challenge of working on the interior of the Tower of Terror was not only creating a time period, but capturing it a short while after it had been built and frozen in a moment in time as everyone vanished. So throughout the lobby, we have little stories that can be seen and are told through a matter of props and set dressings of what people were doing at that moment. In researching the time period, we had to really uncover what was popular at the time and what people likely would have been doing in that hotel when it finally shut down. Right here. See how it's set up? What we're trying to capture in this scene is a mahjong game in progress, which was very popular at the time. And we have a coffee set up. We have a set of flowers that was delivered with it that has long been dead. All of the lighting fixtures in the Tower of Terror that were provided for us by Character Lighting were acquired from a building of similar size, age, and style as our hotel here. The 1920s pattern on the tapestry was our guide for the rest of the colors in the room. At the end of the sofa, we had a visitor in from France with his French-English translation book for some of the harder words in his new American newspaper. There was a lot of activity that last day in 1939. We had a very wealthy person checking in at the time with a very swank set of luggage. He has just signed in the registration book and is now leaving a note at the registration desk telling of a friend arriving later and to please hold their room. Another guest had just checked in and has obviously come in from a much colder climate. He's taken off his overcoat and hat. He's already received his key and newspaper in the hotel, has filled out his Hollywood postcards to send off to others out of town. In this scene, we've created the following story. It's a couple having their last bottle of champagne in the tower before the incident. You can see where she was sitting down. She has laid down her purse and gloves and neatly folded her napkin, and although her champagne glass is dry, she still has lipstick on her glass. And where he was sitting, he just sort of wrinkled his napkin and tossed it on the table.
Picture, if you will, a group of ordinary high school kids. They're out for a night of fun at the Disney MGM studios. Little do they know, they're about to be thrust into the darkest corners of their imaginations, to become players in their very own episode of The Twilight Zone. Like all those brave enough to enter the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, these guests will be retracing the footsteps of those fateful five who disappeared long, long ago. But beware. Once those doors close, there's no escape except through the fifth dimension. That took the smirks off their faces, and it's only the beginning. It's a long way down, but they'll be all right. That thing was just inspected in 1939. Submitted for your approval. Back in 1939, 5 people took this same elevator and were never heard from again. But of course, that's just a silly legend. I can't wait to talk to these guys and ask them what they thought.
Going up.
I don't think so.